refuse to not be first.
Do we do enough? Well, I never shut up about it.
It must have been about 16, 17. We nicked their guilt rings. Right, the bouncer's guilt ring.
This is no good for me. That's the reality. If you want the honest truth, and I see it every day.
This is Umar Ahmed for IFLTV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. Today I'm joined by Big Frazer. He's not driving. He's still at the moment before anyone gets... Yeah, thanks for the time. Obviously, announced your fight with Mariusz Wach on June 16th at your call, which is a big step up for yourself so far in your professional career. We'll come on to that, Frazer, but let's just get some things out the way.
Here we go.
Here we go. Okay, so look, it's quite evident that your management team, 258, lobbied to the board to mandate you for the British title against Fabio Wardley, lobbying yourself and from 258's perspective, and were Boxer aware about that as well?
So, obviously, when you say lobbied, my team asked if when the title is due to be mandated and made, like, you know, people be considered, asked that I be considered in the other names. It wasn't like, oh, we wasn't begging, please come Frazer fight for the British title. I wanted to be considered in the names, Adley, Solomon, you know, to have the opportunity to fight for the title, which I was, and obviously then I was made mandatory challenger. Did Boxer and stuff now? I think there was a conversation, a few emails sent. But we was all under the understanding that what they wasn't going to make it more mandatory for probably another 8 weeks. But it happened within 4 days. So obviously that's where I never got the opportunity to box again beforehand and get them rounds in which obviously we've heard a lot about, the rounds, which is understandable. You know, since I've sort of come off my high horse and chilled out a little bit, I get what people are saying, you know. Until you've done it under the lights, you know, it's an experience that you've not had yet. So, you know, in one respect, obviously I understand what people are saying, and I'm fully with people in agreeing that, you know, there's no need to rush. People talk about my age, 31. Do you know what I mean? I'm not 60 or 50. Do you know what I mean? I'm good. So yeah, I think that's what happened. Okay.
So what you're saying is when your team put you as a potential mandatory for Fabio Wardley, in your mind and your team's mind, you wanted to have one more fight before you fought Fabio.
Yeah, because, you know, we was under the understanding that they were going to make someone mandatory, like not for a while, because, you know, he was only just champion, like at the time, I think like 10 weeks or something. So we thought, you know, I thought it would have been a bit more time. And in that time, I was going to fight. I think the first date was June 10th. So we didn't think that, you know, it was going to be a problem. But obviously they did it like within 4 days. So then it's like, oh, if the other side being Matchroom win the purse bids, then obviously we've got an issue because I've got a fight penciled in already. But obviously, you know, it wasn't to be. It was a lot of noise, you know, a lot of noise for nothing really. It really did do my head in. I'm just a fighter, just wanting to fight. Do you know what I mean? Simple as that.
Okay. Yeah, as you said, you are the fighter. So even though you weren't able to have that fight beforehand, I'm sure from your perspective, you still would have gone in the ring with Fabio Wardley and fought him. So from a contractual point of view, did Boxer have the right to pull you out that purse bid, Frazer?
Did they have the right? I suppose, you know, it's one of them, like, obviously a few people have said it's probably a little bit of inexperience from me in terms of knowing who's in control and who's not. But remember, I wouldn't say like it was like something that was, it was an option, but you have to remember, and I keep seeing all these people, oh, you should leave Ben Shalom, you should leave Sky, blah, 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 blah. You know, when you work for, say, I don't know, you work in a factory, you don't go and tell your boss what you're doing. Not my boss, but, you know, you don't, they're the people that pay my wages, you know what I mean? They're the people not that I work for, because I work for myself, but obviously it's a mutual sort of, collective effort. And to be fair, it wasn't just them. I spoke to a few people, I had a few conversations with people that I respect their opinion, and people were just saying, like, we're not doubting that, you can go into the fight, you can win the fight, but what? Why not do the round? So after a few conversations with a few people, it really did, like, piss me off, because I wanted to do the fight. Like, listen, I might do 10 rounds, 12 rounds, and I might look absolutely terrible. I might be fucked, but I was guaranteed, I was 100% confident in winning the fight. Do you know what I mean? So, sort of is what it is. But there was just a lot of talk and talk and talk, and then I got fed up with it. I was just like, you know what, whatever happens, sort of happens. And obviously they pulled me out of the managing position, and I was under the understanding that it was all done in my best interest. And I was also, like, had some good guarantees and good promises that we can still get this Fabio Wardley fight done a little bit later down the line.
Okay, I understand they've told you that it was done in your best interest, and it might well be the case. But just to play devil's advocate to that, if in your position you're the fighter, you are going to earn your highest payday so far of your career, whoever wins this purse bid. If you go and beat Fabio Wardley, even if it was on DAZN, you then come back to Sky Sports as the British champion who's taken Fabio's belt and his history. So from that perspective, didn't you really push box and say, let me just get on with it?
Listen, if you can ask anyone that was in the room, and you'll know who them people was. I'm a loud person, I'm an outspoken person. I say what I feel, and there was raised voices from me. Believe me, I was not, like, I didn't take it lightly. I didn't take it sitting down. I was upset and I was angry at the time. I was full of emotion, because I can remember when I found out I'd been made mandatory. I was with my daughter and my son, and obviously one's 2 and one's 6, and I needed someone to tell. I turned around and told them I'm going to fight for the British title. I was excited, so you can understand the frustration in me as a person, as a fighter. This was my biggest fight to date. I was very frustrated when all this was coming out and being apparent. But sometimes your emotion can get the better of you. Do you know what I mean? And after a little few days, deleted that Twitter. Got rid of that because I was just getting hammered left, right, and centre. So I did that. Come off the socials for a little bit. Spent some time with my family. Like I say, I was on the phone to good people. I just realised, it wasn't the end of the world. It was upsetting at the time. And everyone just said to me, look, next week it'll be old news, which it is already. Do you know what I mean? It's all good if me and Fabio end up fighting for the British title. If not, then I'm probably going to go on a bit of an angry spree.
Well, that's good to hear from a fighter's point of view. At the time, you were very angry and upset, which you just said, and obviously a week on now, you've calmed down about the situation a bit.
Yeah, because, and you know what, I've got to just give some credit to Ben Shalom. Like, he took a lot of he took a lot of stick. Last week he took a lot of stick, and as a promoter, I felt like he put himself in the firing line for me. Like, obviously between him and other people, the decision was sort of made, and he took all the abuse. On the Sunday, he drove from his, he come to my house to see me personally, and just reassure me that this decision wasn't made, because we don't think you can win. This decision was made out of my best interest, which at the same time, I took that still a little bit, like, offensive, like, because I don't know what they mean. Like, I didn't know what people meant by that, but after really good conversations with him, and he's assured me that there's going to be great opportunities coming. And like I said, I've had some good guarantees that there's some good fights coming, some good paydays coming. But first and foremost, it's all about just keeping your mind on the job. Because last week was a mess for me. Training, my head wasn't in the game. I was sparring terrible. I wasn't keeping to certain things that needed to be kept to. I was doing things a little. My mind wasn't there. It was difficult. But I respected him. He came to see me. We had a good chat. And remember, these chats, they're a bit back and forth. I say what I feel always. You get, like I said, give me some good reassurance, some good guarantees were made, you know, some stuff on paper. So I've actually come out of this situation all right, you know, a little bit disappointed because I never got the fight that I wanted at the time. But I'm pretty sure, I'm still confident me and Fabio will end up fighting, and I think the fight is even a bigger fight now. So I've got to give big respect to Ben Shalom, even though it looks like he's taken this opportunity away from me. At the same time, in the background, there's a lot of noise being made and a lot of conversations being had about great opportunities going forward for myself.
Frazer, appreciate that they've given you guarantees and talked about bigger opportunities going forward. A cynic might look at it and go, though, from a Sky point of view, from a Ben Shalom point of view, we just don't want Frazer Clarke to box on his own.
Well, I don't think they do. I haven't, you know, let's not beat around the bush. I don't think they want me to box on his own. And obviously, you know, we've heard it from their side, and Eddie spun it as, you know, oh my God, Frazer's lost this huge payday, this huge opportunity. That opportunity and that payday has gone, yeah. But, you know, I'm confident in myself, and I'm confident in the conversations that I've had and the stuff. It's not even I'm confident. I've got things, like I say, guaranteed. There's got big paydays are still coming. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, all depending on, you know, I've got to go and do the job against Marius White. Yeah, you know what I mean? And we'll get onto that in a minute. But I'm not taking that lightly at all. I actually think that's a tougher fight than any domestic fight at the minute, despite his age. I still think that experience is massive, and you know, I think that'll be my toughest test by a mile to date. So I don't see it as anything lost. I see it as it's been postponed, and it was upsetting at the time. But listen, we move forward. We can't dwell on these. There's going to be other times like this in my career. Remember, the British title isn't my ceiling. I'm looking to go further than that. This is just one obstacle, and you know, at the time, you can either let it make you or break you. And for a few days, it broke me. You know, I was a bit all over the place in training camp, in my room, really pissed off. But you know, now I'm sort of, you know, I'm all right. I'm all right.
That's good to hear, man. That's good to hear. Just a couple of more things to clear up before we come on to the WAC fight. So your team has essentially said we felt he needed, as in you, one more fight before fighting Fabio Wardley. However, Ben Shalom did say he made a career high offer to Fabio Wardley to box you on Sky. So from that point of view, it's very confusing. Were you ready or not?
All I can tell you is, from my point of view, in my head and in my heart, the person I am, I'll box Tyson Fury tomorrow. You know, because I'm a fighter. That's the kind of person I am. And we're saying that if we're saying he's the best heavyweight on the planet at the minute, I'd jump in with him because that's the kind of person I am. Do you know what I mean? It's not like a fucking, oh, you're ready or you're not ready. Who knows? You know what I mean? Sometimes you have to take a leap. That was my sort of ethos. But at the same time, I'm not the one that's invested in me, so they ain't gonna want me to take that leap, are they? Do you know what I mean? So I understand from both point of views, and you know, I'm probably my own worst enemy at sometimes. I'm wanting to rush. I'm wanting to move on. You know, I've seen the way Joyce did things, and I've been compared to him a lot. And even though, you know, it's been taken a lot slower with me, and to be honest, I'm a realist as well. I know what I'm doing in the gym. I know where I can improve. I'm not the finished article yet. So, you know, it might have been a blessing in disguise. We'll never know, because obviously the first bid got canned and we didn't fight. But, you know, like I said, I'm a realist. I'm a real person. Gutted I was. Scared I definitely wasn't. And, you know, I'm still really, really positive that me and Fabio will be in the ring with each other, because it was all about the British title, but I think it's become a little bit different now. It's a little bit like, not personal, because I've not got a problem with him, but our names are going to be put next to each other now for forever until we fight each other. Do you know what I mean? So I think we owe it to each other, and we probably owe it to the fans now as well. Not him, myself, because, you know, he was there and his side of his game. Hands up, you know, we got taken out of the situation. So, you know, I want to prove to everyone that it definitely wasn't me.
I think because You have to take it as a bit of a compliment. And I think this is why there was so much public backlash from it as well. Because you're an amateur star, you're one of the best amateurs come out of this country. You've been around the scene for ages. I know you just turned pro recently, but you've been around boxing for ages. And I think the UK public genuinely thought Frazer Clarke's probably the favourite against Fabio Wardley. So the fact that your team pulled out, that's why I think the backlash was even more spread.
Yeah, well, yeah, it was like, obviously, imagine being me. I'm looking at these people that, and you say to your team, I'm looking at them, I question them like, do you not believe in me or something? Do you know what I mean? But then, obviously after conversations, and you have to take emotion out of these conversations, because emotion can make people, do things that are a bit erratic. So yeah, it was, like I say, it was a difficult few days, but after speaking to the right people, there was a lot of sense made out of the situation, and we will rectify it. I'm positive that we'll rectify it, definitely. What I do know is, and people can say this or not. And I don't like to big myself up, but I must be the name in the domestic heavyweight scene, because everyone wants to fight me. The money must be with me. Everyone wants to fight me. All the rest of them, I think they know, the checks getting signed, and they're getting, the red panties are coming out if they fight me. It's that's the way it is, unfortunately. I think, forget the boxing a minute. Profile wise, obviously the Olympic background and the stuff I've done since I was a pro. I'm like dog shit. I've been everywhere, so it just seems to me like, even though Fabio is the champion, and I understand that, it's like, where's he going to get the same money? Who's he going to go and box? The money is if he comes and fights me. Do you know what I mean? I know it's not all about that, but let's be realistic, man. We're fighters, and it fucking sort of is.
Yeah, of course it's about the money. Also, do you understand as well, at the time when you guys pulled out the purse bid, it was heavily reported you were going to fight Harry Armstrong, and people were going, well, what's the point of doing if you do 10 rounds against Harry? How does that, all due respect to Harry Armstrong, how does that prepare you for a championship fight with Fabio Wardley? Did you get that criticism at the time as well?
I completely understood it, and do you know what I mean? I wasn't doing backflips over fighting Harry Armstrong. Let me tell you that. He's a tough man. He's quite durable. He gave the most pathetic video of a call out you've ever seen in your life. Oh my god, it was just shocking. He sat there. He said, "Oh, I didn't like the way you spoke about me in the commentary when I fought Jamie." Oh my god, it was terrible, honestly. So it was even more of a turn off. That was when he did the video, like calling me out. But I didn't really. I just knew, like, I wasn't gonna get what I needed from fighting Harry Armstrong. I don't think. Yeah, he might be tough, it might be durable, but I wanted something that was, someone that's going to give me some questions in there. And I don't believe he was going to do that, because I think I would have gone through him. I really do. But with Marius Wack, on the other hand, the experience, and I seen him, he boxed not long ago. That big grizzly Russian, the heavyweight, I can't think of his name. Big beard, big. You see him running with logs on his shoulders on Instagram. I can't think of his name. He boxed him not long ago, and he was asking a few questions. I think got stopped in the 8th, but he was asking a few questions, and that's what I definitely need. I need to be in a sticky situation, in a fight, just so I know what I'm actually made of. Do you know what I mean?
Was it Makhmadov?
Makhmadov, that's his name. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, big strong boy. You know what I mean? And he went there trying to take Marius out, and the experience of these guys, it came through. Remember, heavyweight division is not like. It's not like the other divisions, people are talking about his age and stuff. Big, strong, experienced man, knows how to do the rounds. He would have seen a lot of people like myself come through. And remember, I've done some sparring with him as well. He's not as big and as slow as he looks. He's a good operator of a boxing match.
Now, Promoter of Fabio Wardley, Eddie Hearn, had a lot to say, as he would do.
Of course he did. You know,
Especially on our channel.
He played the blinder. He played the blinder. That man deserves an Oscar. He played the blinder, and fair play to him.
Well, he said that, you know, your credibility is now in tatters. Do you have a response to that?
I just think when he said that my credibility is not in tatters, he's probably used to being surrounded by fragile fighters. You know, in his stable, he's probably had to do a lot of phone calls to people. Oh, it's all right, mate. Go on, pick yourself up. Blah 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 blah. He's probably got a lot of unstable fighters in his stable. But I know it's easily said, but I'm built different, mate. I've been through disappointment in my career. Remember, I missed out on 2 Olympics. I've had career-threatening injuries. I've been stabbed in the neck and in the leg 3 times. I've been at terrorist attacks. I've had a lot go on in my life. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not like these other kids that, you know, they're having a bit of a nightmare in their career with things outside the ring and this and that. He's had to deal with lots of different situations with his fighters, and I'm not the same as them. So listen, like, I'm made of the right stuff, and he should know it as well. I can remember at his shows years ago when I was doing the security. I can remember once people were trying to get to him that didn't know, like, I'd put people to sleep. There's loads of situations that, you know, he should know that I'm built proper. Do you know what I mean?
Frazer, hopefully a win for yourself on June 16th against Marius Wack. You were talking about the opportunities and guarantees Sky have given you, or have promised you rather. What do they look like, Frazer?
They're good. They're good, mate. They're gonna put me in a good position, and, you know, I think I've heard a lot of things said about this, but my aim is to become a top of the bill box office fighter, main attraction. Do you know what I mean? That's my aim. That's my goals, and that's my dream. And people can say what they want about it. It's never going to happen. He's too old. He's too that. People said it about the Olympics. He's not going to go to the Olympics. He's not going to do nothing. Listen, it took me a bit of time, but I'll get there, because you know what? I'm chip away, chip. Fight. There's a big dog in me. There's a lot of fight in me. I keep coming here to this university, Loughborough University. Keep training. Keep listening to Angel. Listen to other good people around me, and I'll be all right. I'll get there when I need to get there. Trust me.
And do you think you'll have the support back from the UK public? I'm sure you've still had a lot of support in this situation, but I'm talking, you know, the majority of boxing fans obviously have had their say on this situation. Do you think you'll win them back in the end, Frazer?
Listen, there's loads of support out there. There's loads of support, and I've said it once and I'll say it again. Along with the support, there's loads of wankers out there. I'm not even going to give this little prick the credit. Oh, he's going to get it now anyway, because we're... What's the little fucking idiot called? The little Indian kid that no one gives a shit about. What's his name?
Who's that?
What's his name? The one that Sonny Edwards has beef with. Fucking...
Oh, Prince Patel. Prince Patel.
Yeah, that's him. I seen him do something. He said something daft about me. The little fucking muppet. I'll slap. When I see him, I'll slap his head off. Slap his absolute head off.
Well, what did he say?
He said, time waster, fat Frazer Clarke. Someone sent me the video the other day. I thought, you cheeky little bastard. You box in front of about 50 people, mate. Do you know what I mean? You cheeky little bastard. But listen, we'll squash the ant when we see him. Not a problem. But yeah, no, the public, you know, I hope they do still support me. Listen, your credibility is in a boxing ring, innit? Do you know what I mean? You can talk and talk and talk. So just tune in and you know, the credit. Obviously, I'll do what I do in the gym and in the ring, and let's see.
Last one, Frazer. Bit of a random one. This. What on earth was happening with you and David Adley the other day?
Do you know what? So I don't even like dislike David Adley. Do you know what I mean? It's not even like that. Do you know, before that I had respect for him and that. So I've got a call. Now I've got a message off Spencer. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he said, "Oh, do you want to come on the podcast?" I thought, yeah, let's go on there. Him and Tunde, like, we'll have a boxing talk. Next thing, you know, they pull a crafty one. Someone else waiting to come in on the call is David Adley. Thinking, oh, okay. So we're talking. Then before long, obviously the competitive nature in both of us just ends up in just the big verbals. Do you know what I mean? I think he didn't like what I said about. I said something about. I can't remember what I said. I said something on Twitter about him and Fabio fight. I can't remember what I said. I said something anyway, which he took a dislike to.
It was
And
great
then
entertainment, though. It was brilliant entertainment.
It was, you know what? And I think that's another great fight down the line. I mean, him. Remember this? Like, he's talking about, what did he say? He said, "I'm 100-0 on the streets." Yeah, I just said, look, man, you're a fucking little fucking bodybuilder, mate. You'll get your head jabbed straight off. But no,
Do you know the best thing about that was, though, you guys started off for about 20 minutes so amicable, and then it just switched.
Yeah, well, listen, he's a fighting guy. I'm a fighting guy. It's as simple as that. Like, I don't think we're ever going to be like best of friends. We're in the same weight division, but listen, it's not real beef like he's talking about. You know, all this shit on the streets and whatnot. Fucking hell, mate. You know what it is? The problem is, you know, some of the Cockney boys, some of the people from down south, they think that I'm a country boy that rides around on the tractor with a piece of corn in my mouth. Well, yes, I might be, but guess what? They're fucking tough people, mate. Let me tell you that. And I'll never back down from any of these fools.
Well, listen, Frazer, I really do appreciate your time. Best of luck in camp out of June 16th. Live on Sky Sports against Mariusz Whack at your call, and we'll catch up soon, big man.
No worries. Take care, bro.
I refuse to not be first.
Do we do enough? Well, I never shut up about it.
It must have been about 16, 17. We nicked their guilt rings. Right, the bouncer's guilt ring.
This is no good for me. That's the reality. If you want the honest truth, and I see it every day,